They wanted so much money.
Like, how much are we talking here?
You want to take a guess?
Probably say about 10 grand.
9.
Shit. Womp womp.
Just for the hall.
Just for the hall.
Just for the hall. No, nothing. No plate. No tables. No chairs. No nothing.
Like tables and chairs were not included.
No.
Jesus
Where
Christ.
tables are not included where we are now, the gentleman that owns the place is nice enough to allow us to let us use his chairs. He's got like 200 chairs. He's just use them. You're not going to charge me for them? No. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably just one of those deals like, yeah, just use them. As long as you don't break them, just, put them away when you're done.
But when it comes to a wedding, they charge for everything.
Yeah, they charge for every fucking seat.
Even my, our assistant is what Chaz called her. A planner, whatever you want to call her. She was like, you don't charge for garbage bags, you don't charge for... He was like, why? Everybody. Like, most places charges like a quarter a bag or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Seriously? Yeah, so the place we're at it's $1,500
Like $1,500 to rent it out.
to rent the hall.
That's not bad considering the other place was $9 grand.
$9,000.
Jesus.
And that was on a Sunday. I can't even imagine a Saturday.
No, Saturday I imagine it would probably be about 10 grand.
Yeah. So, but whatever. It's exactly where we want to be. And it's coming up so fast. Like, we got engaged in May.
Yeah.
It's already 2018. Like,
Not yet.
3 days it'll be 2018. Like, 4 days, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just... It's crazy.
Yeah. But,
Like,
you know...
I never, ever believed my parents when it was... The older you get, the faster time goes by. No, it doesn't. Holy shit, I'm 36.
Yeah.
And I have nothing to show.
Hey, dude, I'm right behind you. I'm 33. I have nothing to show for it.
Right.
You know?
It's alright, hopefully I'm going to call back in a couple of days.
Yeah. I gotta bust my ass a little bit harder, look for a better full-time job or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like my
You're full-time at Depot and then part-time at...
Part-time at both.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. That sucks.
Like I can't apply for like a full-time position at AAA until I think it's like late February, early March, because like once you apply for a position and you get it, they don't want you to be like 2 weeks later, oh no, I want to apply for this position now, and then try and get that one. So they're like, every time you get a position, you have to wait 6 months until you can move on to another one.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I get it.
Yeah, I get that too, and that's how a lot of places are. You got to give them 6 months or whatever in that position, but
yeah. So I figure, all right, be part-time for right now, and then see if they have a full-time schedule that kind of works for me.
Right.
It's like they had one guy who was working, like his schedule was literally Sunday through Thursday, like 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., something like that. And he had Friday and Saturday off. I'm like, fuck, that would be perfect.
Yeah, that's a nice shift.
That's a nice shift. Like, I would kill somebody for that position.
That's about the only thing that I really missed when I worked at Lowe's was my shift.
Yeah, it was just early in the morning. You could get out of work early enough. You could still do shit.
Well, no, not really, but yes and no. Like so I did 410s.
Yeah, and then
so I was in there at 6:30, but out at 5, and it was an hour ride home, but it was Monday through Thursday, so I had Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays off.
Yeah.
So I had a mini vacation every single week.
Yeah.
Until it was time for like scheduled overtime, mandatory overtime is what they call it scheduled, but which I mean whatever. So you work another day, you're instantly making 10 hours of overtime for one day.
Yeah.
And you still have 2 full days off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
If the pay wasn't so crappy, I'd still be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I mean, when you've got Frito-Lay down the street starting you off at $4 to $5 more an hour than what they cap you off at.
Jesus.
Right? It's crazy.
Yeah, it makes.
But
no
it wasn't
sense.
a bad company to work for. Like I had no problems with anybody working there.
Yeah,
just a money issue.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people will quit their job. And I'm quoting Jim Ross here because of the 2 C's with their jobs. Mostly it comes to either cash or creative.
Yeah.
If they can't be creative enough for their job and they're making a lot of money, they're unhappy. They're just like, screw this. I can go somewhere else, make the same amount of money, and be more creative.
Yeah.
Or fuck it, I'm not making enough money here.
Exactly. But I mean, it's
like the sad part is, man, like I went to college and whatnot, and I went to broadcasting school, got certified in that and whatnot. I worked in radio for over 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
I worked at the Boston station, never made more than $10 an hour there for 5 days a week, 5 hours a day. It was just per diem. Yeah. And then
I'm not even entirely sure how they can get away with that, but dude, you spent more money in fuel going back and forth there than you did to make a paycheck.
Yeah, which is why I got a second job working at like Newport Creamery for a couple of months. And then I got let go from the Boston station. I got hired by a station up in New Hampshire. And they're like, okay, we're going to, it's going to be part-time. We're going to pay you $12 an hour. And it's like, okay, yeah, how do you expect people to fucking survive on this?
Nope, I don't understand it. And that's not even minimum wage. Like,
no.
Minimum wage is less than that. I don't understand how people survive on minimum wage.
I don't know.
By themselves. Like, there's no way. You got to have 2 jobs. Minimum wage was meant to be the minimum possible wage you could afford to live on.
Yeah.
Fairly comfortably.
Yeah, you could live comfortably. Not extravagant. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not going out on fucking yachts or whatnot, but
no,
you have a roof over your head. You
have a little bit of money to go on a vacation every once in a while. Have food in the fridge, a roof over your head, and some furniture. And
you have
heat,
enough to
electric,
cover your bills.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Enough to pay your bills. Where, like, it's not possible.
Yeah, and it's fucking embarrassing that, like, pretty much every year that I'm seeing, like, the minimum wage doesn't go up, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, it's going to go up 25 cents. We're going to raise it up from, $7.50 an hour to $7.75. It's like...
And that's a big win, yeah,
right,
okay.
Yeah, that's a big fucking win.
Keep your 25 cents, like, really.
And shove it up your ass. And then, I'm seeing, like, members of Congress every year, they're like, oh, we need to get paid more. Everybody's like, yeah, we need to get paid more. And they get fucking raises, like, every year or every 2 years, something like that.
Yeah, and they only have to work whatever their sitting term is, whatever, 2 or 4 years.
Something like that.
And then they get paid for that for the rest of their life.
Yeah, which is fucking embarrassing.
Yep, and somebody that's overseas that fights for our freedom, for their freedom, to get paid that much, and they get paid jack shit.
Yeah, I think they get paid, I think it's like $30,000 a year or something like that.
Maybe that.
If that.
Maybe that.
I think depending on what
and then you've got, a senior citizen or whatever that's on Social Security making like 14.
Yeah. Yeah, and
how do you afford that and live in an apartment? You don't. So you got to live in a cardboard box.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do it. It's
nope. Stupid.
Which is why, like, everybody was making fun of that. There was a guy, I think he was running in New York. I don't know if he was running for like state representative or whatever have you, but he was like, the rent is too damn high. Like, well, fuck yeah, it is.
Rent is stupid in New York.
Like, rent in New York.
You have to have 5 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment to afford that shit.
Like, dude, you think the rent is outrageous in fucking New York? Check out the rent rates in, like, San Francisco. Like, there are people making, like, 6 figures a fucking year working for, like, tech companies and whatnot. And they still have to live in apartments with, like, roommates because they can't afford the fucking rent.
Because it's like $5 or $6 grand a month.
Yeah.
For an apartment.
Yeah. That's for, like, a 2-bedroom apartment. $5-6 grand a month.
Unless it's gold-plated, comes with a butler who does everything and anything for you.
Yeah.
And it's still not worth that much money.
No.
Like, I don't understand how they think I guess it's worth what people will pay. But it's the same thing. Like, I'm on a page, couple of car pages on Facebook and whatnot, and man, these people, like, just because you have a pickup truck that's got a diesel engine in it does not mean that it's worth 4 times the amount of money as what it's actually worth.
No. No, and it's...
Oh, I got this 2000 F350, blah, blah, blah. It's got 340,000 miles on it. Deleted, studded, which I have no fucking idea what that even means.
Yeah.
A steal at $15,000.
It's like, no. It's like,
no. I could go buy, like... No. Stupid.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you know what? I don't need a truck, and for $15,000 fucking dollars, I can buy like a brand new or like slightly used fucking like Toyota.
Yep.
But
that's the other thing is that, like, I mean, yes, Toyotas last a long time. I get it. But there's still so much money. Like Tacomas, brand new Tacomas are like $50,000.
Yeah.
$40,000. Yeah, that's a lot of bells and whistles. I get it, but
it's like
$40,000 for a mid-sized pickup truck.
Yeah.
The new Colorado, the new Chevy Colorado with the diesel that goes in it. That's a $45,000 mid-sized truck.
Yeah, and still the gas mileage is probably like 20 miles to the gallon highway, if that.
It's $45,000. That's like an $800 a month car payment.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's...
I'm sorry, I'm not paying more for a car payment than I do for an apartment.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah. Like, I'm thankful, like, the payments for my car, like, I got a 2015 Toyota Corolla. My car payments are, like, a shade under, like, $180 a month.
Yeah.
Which, fucking great.
Right.
Love it.
Mine's a bit more than that, but whatever.
Whatever have you, man.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. Like, thankfully, like, at least including this car, the last two cars that I've gotten pretty lucky with them, to say the least. Like,
that Saturn was a pretty decent car.
It was a decent car. It looked like a junker, but it lasted like what, a couple of years.
And that was a car that you went back and forth to Boston with every single day, like.
Yeah, and not only that, but like when I went up to New Hampshire, I had that car, and I was driving from Amherst, New Hampshire, which is like a 10-minute drive from like Nashua, and I'm driving up to West Lebanon, which is on like the border of Vermont, which is about 2 hours away. Doing that 5 days a week at one point.
I remember going to look at that car with you. It was like $1,200, whatever the guy wanted for it.
$1,200, yeah.
And it only had 70,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
You put 100,000 miles on that car, didn't you?
Yep.
For $1,200?
$1,200.
How do you go wrong?
Exactly. Like I made my money and then some. And like like there were some repairs that had to be done to it that were a little more expensive. But hey, you know what?
Well worth it.
Yeah.
You know.
Considering like if it didn't have like that damage on the front end, he could have easily gotten about $3-4 for it.
Right. And then that Nissan that was out front, you didn't pay anything for that car, right?
No, that was my grandpa's old car. That lasted maybe about a year. Yeah.
It wasn't a bad car. It blew a timing chain, right?
Yeah, and the funny part was, like, everybody was saying, oh, you know, that timing chain, like, that thing is unbreakable, that thing's never going to break, that's why it's better than the belts and whatnot. The fucking chain breaks. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, that's not usual.
Yeah.
You know, belts wear out, chains really do not. So, I mean, something had to have gotten in there or whatever, you know, something had to snap in there, but...
Like, it was sitting out there for a while. I don't imagine it got rusted, but...
You never know. It could have.
Very well could have, yeah. But it would cost, like, I think it was like $2,500 to fix it.
Yeah, you would have been better off just putting a new engine in that car.
Yeah.
It would have been cheaper.
Yeah, and, like, for those that are asking, like, oh, what happened to the Saturn? What happened to the Saturn? I'm taking my niece to the movies, and, you know, there's that little, like, that area over by the recycling center over here to get on the highway.
Yeah.
I just get on there. I'm underneath the bridge for, I think it was, like, Devil's Foot Road, and one of the springs in the shock broke and sliced right through the driver's side tire. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. God damn it. So, call up AAA. Like, hey, yeah, I got a flat tire. I didn't know what happened to it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I got a flat tire. I don't know if I ran over a nail or something, whatever. They're like, okay, you know, you have a good working spare tire. I was like, yeah, it's been in the trunk. It's fine. You know, pull it out. There's like a big, like, slice out of there. It's like, you can see, like, the threading inside of it. I'm like, fuck.
Nope.
Driver shows up. I'm just like, yeah, it's not exactly a good tire. Shit. So he's like, yeah, it's all right. He's like, call back for a tow truck. He's like, you know, get the tow truck back. And I drive it back to the house, and then the next day I have it towed over to the mechanic who, you know, told me, like, yeah, this is what happened. So that would have cost, let's see, because he was going to replace the shocks in both sides of the front.